Okay, we're back, and this should be pretty close to our final step. I misted my paints again with this water, and I've got my nail dotter ready. We're going to get to that point where we're going to start putting some dots on with the nail dotter. I also got a smaller round brush. This is a number 2, the Royal Soft Grip number 2. And so I think that we are ready to start putting in the lighter values now, like these paler greens that you see here. So that's, and maybe I'm going to put some of this, the velvet teal mixed with white. So let's mix that up real quick. So I've got my teal, grab some white, made a lighter version of that color. And yeah, I think that's gonna work. So again, every now and then I make sure I've got a nice loaded tip to my brush, reload on the palette. So this is popping because we made our colors muted. And so this is the fun part. We laid in all that groundwork, and now this is the fun part where we can put the more vibrant colors on. And it really starts to pop. I really, really love this part. So make sure you walk around this color and get it, evenly placed all over, because we're going to go lighter and lighter as we go here. And maybe I'm making him a little bit wider and fuzzier out here. I think that's what I'm doing. All right, so now I think that's enough. Now it's time for another color. I'm going to get some yellow and add that to this. So I'm going to keep my original, the color I just mixed a moment ago, I'll keep that intact in case I need it again, and added yellow to the edge of that puddle and made a slightly different color. Again, I just mix it thoroughly and then twirl it to get that paint on the tip of the brush, which is really why I like using these styrofoam plates. It just makes it really easy. And again, I don't know that I like this color, so I'm going to put it someplace that doesn't, it's not going to kill me if it's the wrong color, Yeah, that looks pretty good. Put a few down, see how you like it. If you don't like it, just adjust it and come back in with another color. I think I like it because it's similar to his eye color. Definitely want to get that up here. And it starts to fill in and look a lot better. You know, and each one's different. So when you come across a color that you really like, we're going to start putting that in these feathers up here. I might even put just a little bit of this in his eye. Make his eye a little bit bigger, make that pupil just a little bit smaller. I didn't really like how big that highlight was anyway. You know, don't be afraid to go back in and tweak stuff. I just really liked that green, and I wanted that green on his eye. So you see how it, you know, it creates that harmony. Oh, I didn't even know how I did that. But it's okay, it's a happy accident. So yeah, maybe I'll put a streak in. So you want to start from the outside and work it in. You definitely want to make sure you have enough paint on your brush, you know, that it's really loaded and, you know, juicy and pointed. So you roll it to get it pointed. And you start on the outside. I'm going to brace my hand with my other hand underneath and pull in. Reload. And, you know, if it's screwed up, if you didn't get it just right, just paint the black over again, let it dry, and, you know, try it again. You can also make these wispies kind of come like this a little bit if you want to, you know, or maybe they kind of start going, you know, like that. Just a light touch. It's really just the tip of the brush. And maybe I'll do my wispies with this green. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe that's a little crazy. I know it's a little scary doing this. Test it out on your paper. It's just a very dry brush. All right. And I like how that softened that a little bit. I think I'm going to use gray and green and just get a little bit more of a shadowy, soft gray like I have on this one. See how that looks up in there. I have no idea if I'm going to like that or not. You know, you don't know until you try. And again, you know, we're learning. This is a lesson. It's not going to be a finished painting. This is for you to explore, you know, and try color mixing and try making a really beautiful eye, you know, and a wet looking soft pupil. That's the whole idea here. I like that. And then I wiped off my brush and it's just ever so slightly wet. This is like a glaze. Softening that edge a little bit more. Softening that. Sometimes you can kind of scrub a little bit with your brush to soften. Maybe I'll paint over that highlight. Knock it back a little bit. And remember, it dries darker, so right now it might look like, uh-oh, I just messed it up. But, you know, wait a minute, let it dry. Softening that top edge, that should just kind of disappear up there. So I'm still distracted by this here, but we haven't painted in those tones yet, and I don't like this little glob right there. So before that paint is totally dry, I'm going to get in there and fix that. And I think I need some of this beigey brownish color up on his forehead. Just a little, because owls, you know, remember they're not all crazy bright colors. They have a lot of, you know, soft neutrals to them. That was not light enough. You know, and if you've had these paints sitting out a while, you might be at the point where they're starting to get sticky and they're not performing for you. So you might want to get fresh paint, or you might need to just keep spritzing it. Okay, and then this brownish color, let's see what happens if we start putting that maybe out here. Don't know if I'm going to like it or not. Sometimes you just don't know till you try, right? So, I mean, the thing I want you to understand is that you can always edit. You can always come back in and paint another color over. So that's the main thing about this, is that it's, you know, it's just this harmonious blend of colors. And you just keep layering until you find the, you know, the colors that you like. Put some brown up here now. So now I'm just blending some black and brown again. I think I got a little blue in there, that's okay. Just kind of, so, you know, yeah, I decided to make his face a lot whiter. I can always come back in with another background color and make it look like he's on a background if I want to. So now he looks like a wide owl. And I think I want to get that black, or a nice strong black up here, because this is where I'm going to have those white dots. So you want to figure out where you're going to have the white dots on the ear feathers. Make sure you got a nice strong black line to paint on. Sometimes your finger is the very best tool. Getting that pupil a little darker again. So I'm just reestablishing that black a little bit more because that's where I'm going to put my white dots. I am pretty close here. I feel like, I hope you can see this pretty good. I think I want to fix this edge of this blue. I'm going to bring that blue back up a little bit more. You know, and if that color dried on you, that's okay. Make a slightly different color. All right, now we're ready for the white dots. So I'm going to get out my nail dotter. And you do want to have a nice juicy puddle of white. And I dot each and every one. I mean, I reload my dotter for every single dot. So I'm going to get it right up next to my canvas. And I'm going to start in the, I call them the ear feathers. I don't know if that's what they really are, but... So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what happens is it's just kind of a rhythm, I think. Like you press down a little bit longer on the first one and it'll make it a bigger dot. it's just a practice thing. You know, you get better at it the more you do it. You don't have to do these around the eye, you know. Totally up to you. But I love these dotters. I'm also going to do some dots with black. And that is it. You could do just a couple more as the last thing with this really small number 2. I'm going to get just a little bit of white on here, add some water to it so that it flows real easily out of my brush. And I'm just going to do a couple of these wispies right there. You want to be careful you don't hit your dots that you did previously. Softening that. And then, oh yeah, I told you I was going to do some black dots with the nail dotter. So my black's just about dead. Here I did find a little puddle. Sometimes I'll put my black right next to my white. All right, that's it for this one.